I'm Alive is one of those games, while flawed, finds a silver lining. You get dropped into a post-apocalyptic world, engulfed by dust and the aftermath of earthquakes known as the event. It sets the game up for a darker, more grayscaled art style, which for some gamers it might be off-putting. However, I found it fit great with the mood Ubisoft was trying to convey. You play as an unnamed protagonist who at the time of the event was halfway across the country. Now he has returned to his old home in the fictional city of Havington to rescue his wife and daughter. Upon reaching his old apartment, he discovers that his wife and daughter have left for safety. Meanwhile, he records his apology for not being with them. From there, the game makes you feel like the protagonist's wife and daughter are just an afterthought, because you start to do missions for other survivors instead of trying to accomplish the task you came to Havington in the first place for. While some have called the gameplay clunky, I found it appealing enough to play through the game. A player controls the protagonist from a third-person perspective during navigation. However, the camera switches to a first-person perspective when aiming and shooting. When it comes to combat, the player can use many various tactics to stay alive, including sneaking to surprise enemies with a machete quick kill, performing stealth kills with a bow, or by using bluff and intimidation. This can be done simply by pulling out your gun and pointing it to the hostile enemy. And while bluff and intimidation does work for the most part, I found that its only problem was as soon as I would put down my gun, enemies would forget I have it, forcing me to pull it back out. There's also a big emphasis on climbing and exploration. You'll be scaling wrecked buildings and navigate through hazardous areas. Every effort has a cost, and when engaging in physically demanding activities, such as climbing or jumping, it's critical to manage your stamina. By managing your stamina, you can be rewarded by access to hidden paths, resources, and other survivors. You'll also be finding resources and supplies to the city, from water bottles to ammunition. These supplies can be used towards keeping the protagonist strong and well, or you can give them to other survivors, which will earn you a retry. Retries can be collected throughout the game by helping other survivors or just exploring the city for resources. And trust me, you'll need these if you don't want to get frustrated with the game's bad save points, which have been placed there deliberately for the emphasis of the tension. Visually, the game doesn't hold up to today's gaming standards, but I saw myself overlooking that for how much fun I was having just looking for supplies and things to navigate around the dust-filled city. I'm Alive is a game that effectively draws you into its world. The controls may be somewhat stiff and graphics are murky, but that doesn't affect how much of an engrossing experience I Am Alive is.